Turkey. Now here,
Shalom, give me a minute.
all of left.
Okay, here we go. Shalom, shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting, Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sap. I camp out with Lion's Den, One Ben Joshua Water in Jacksonville, Florida. But first, I'll take up a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the Akims, and to the women and children around the world in Paleo Hebrew language. Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha Rokah Kodash Mahamah, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit, holy, and in truth. Double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to the elders of Lion Den's camp. Salutations to the Akims who are on the four corners of the earth. And to the women and children, Shalom, Salakia. Well, it keeps getting more and more interesting. It says up here, Israel is not America's ally. Wait till you hear this professor what he has to say, and it has some truth, right? Even in scripturally as well. The title of this lesson is called "Never Trust Thy Enemy." Here we go.
Lebanon, all of Syria, large parts of Saudi Arabia, and even parts of southern Turkey. Now here is a fascinating detail. Iran, ancient Persia, is not included in the greater Israel map. Iran lies outside this promised territory. So ask yourself a logical question. If Iran is not part of greater Israel, why is Israel so desperate to go to war with Iran? Why is Israel constantly pushing the United States toward a direct military confrontation with Tehran? The answer is not what you expect. The answer is that Iran is not Israel's biggest obstacle to achieving greater Israel. America is. Let me repeat that. America is the primary obstacle to Israeli regional dominance. Because right now, who actually controls the Middle East? Who has military bases in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Iraq? Who controls the oil shipping lanes? Who controls the major trade routes? The United States does. American bases are sitting directly on the land that the Greater Israel movement claims as its own. So the strategy, whether openly stated or not, is brutally simple. Use the war against Iran to destroy the American empire. How? Force America into a long, costly, unwinnable conflict. Force America to spend trillions of dollars on weapons that do not work. Force America to overextend its military, its economy, its political capital. Make America so exhausted that it has no choice but to withdraw from the Middle East entirely. And when America leaves, who fills the vacuum? Israel. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is game theory. This is how empires have always transitioned. The old empire exhausts itself. The new empire waits patiently. And then the transition happens, often so smoothly that most people do not even notice it until it is complete. I can already hear the objections. But Iran and Israel are enemies. How can Israel replace America if Iran is still standing? This brings me to a third law of geopolitics, which I call the law of mutual respect among the strong. Strong powers rarely fight each other to the death. Instead, they recognize each other's strength. They find a modus vivendi, and they prey on the weak together. Think about this carefully. Right now, it looks like America, Israel, and the Gulf monarchies are all aligned against Iran. But as this war continues, and as Iran proves itself to be strong, and as America proves itself to be weak, the alliances will shift. The strong look at each other and say, let us not waste our energy fighting each other. Let us instead divide the weak between us. I believe this is exactly what will happen between Iran and Israel. Not today, not this year, but over the long term. Once America retreats, once the dust settles, Iran and Israel will be the two remaining major military powers in the Middle East, and they will have no choice but to come to some kind of arrangement, because that is what strong powers always do. There is another element here that almost no one in Western media discusses. This war, which was supposedly designed to cripple Iran, has actually made Iran dramatically wealthier. How? The Americans, fearing a spike in global oil prices, quietly allowed Iranian oil to flow back into international markets. Overnight, Iran made an estimated $14 billion in additional revenue. Remember that Iran's entire annual military budget is only about $10 billion. So in one move, America gave Iran more money than it spends on its entire military in a year. Furthermore, Iran is now permanently embedded in two major global trade networks. The first is the North-South Transport Corridor, which links Russia through Iran to India and the ports of the Arabian Sea. This corridor allows Russia to bypass Western sanctions and gives Iran access to European markets through Russia. The second is China's Belt and Road Initiative. For China to reach European markets efficiently, trade routes must pass through or near Iran. For Europe to access Asian markets, the same is true. Iran's
Okay, let's stop it there. So as you can see, America is going to go downhill pretty fast as days go by. Okay? Because the wicked already have it planned out how to destroy America. And they have to, for the simple reason that so much truth is coming out, right, of America. Not only that, that for keeping God's people, the so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds, in slavery for so long, that they're not going to pay reparation. Not that we wanted to begin with, but they owe so much that they have to erase that record, erase that history, that part of what they have committed, especially the Epstein file. You can't forget that now, right? I want to go to Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, only up to 12, okay? Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusts, so is his wickedness. Verse 11, though he humble himself and goes crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. So Trump is turning against his own people in America, right? And what is the people Israel called the American people over here? Goyim, right? So they're using the military here to do the dirty work. And the military is following, not realizing that, they're being set up. Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he has overthrown thee, he stands up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seeks to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Yep. Too late now, because they're all over America, right? All corporations are corrupted, no matter what direction you go, right? And we're in the middle of this corruption, because there's a corrupted world, right? Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. I want to go to Romans chapter 12. Start with verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, that acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, we're not supposed to be, planning our future in this world, right? We are in the world, right? But we're not part of it, because we know that this world is going to come to an end. And as you can see, the proof is in the pudding, right? Let me jump to verse 13. Distributing to the necessities of saints, given to hospitality. Yeah, well, we in the world, we're here to help our brothers, the ones that are doing the work of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, right? We help them, we help each other to the best that we can. It could be, in motivation, conversation, spending time together, okay? Because when all hell hits, and it's going to hit real hard, it's only going to be those that have been doing the work of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, that we can, have trust. Because we go in the highways and byways day and night, and we do the work in the name of Yahweh Shai to guide us and to help one another. Verse 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, said Yahweh Bashin Yahushai. Yeah, because they're gonna, it's gonna get worse. It's like it's gonna get uglier. Now, seeing this, hearing this part, you can see what's the big picture, the big plan, right? Remove all the military, okay? Um, Let America, right, the military, go out there thinking that they're gonna make America great or America comes first. No, America's going bye-bye, okay? It's Israel that comes first, and Israel that they're gonna make great. You see? Um, Let me go to Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. Let me start with that. I know thy works and thy tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. Yeah. A lot of our people that go to these 501c3 incorporated Christian churches believe that these people that are in Israel are the chosen and are the real Jews. They are Jewish, right? They're not lying when they say they're Jewish, but they're not Jew, the chosen ones. Verse 10, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. See? Saying let's know that. Get ready, mentally and spiritually. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Doesn't mean exactly 10, it could be less or more. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Right? Just like our people that join the army, when they get caught, right? They cannot give any inside information. Okay. I'm gonna go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Also, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Yeah, the whole world's going to know who are the real people, the so-called Negros, Latino, Negros, and speckled birds. Okay? Verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And what that temptation is? Well, we're getting closer for the global digital system, and rest assured that right behind that comes a mandate, the charagma, the chip. A lot of our people are going to take it. But those who have been faithful and patient, doing the work to the best of their ability in the name of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, he's not going to allow them. He's going to give them strength not to take it. You see? They will not be tempted. I'll leave it with Roman chapter 2, verse 28. For he is not a Jew, which is not one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh. Okay? So just because they come out with that little, well, we've been circumcised, so, we are Jews. No, 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 no. It's the spirit, right? And also the the DNA, the identity and nationality, the inheritance, Slakia also. Verse 29, but he is a Jew which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, of the mind, and in the spirit, and not in the letter, which praise is not of men, but of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. Remember, they don't accept Yahushai, okay? They don't accept the New Testament either. They don't hide that. They made it clear, okay? I hope that this was edifying, and with that I'll say Shalom.